The following is a presentation of Studio Audrain, powered by the Mexico Ledger.
I'm Linda Ahmann. I'm from Mexico, Missouri now. I was employed here January 1963 to May 1963 at Mexico High School. I wanted to be a teacher since I was about a sophomore in college, and I specialized in several different kinds of special education, and that's what I did when I was teaching in Mexico from January to May of '63, special ed. I really liked it, and I taught in a smattering of places and a smattering of different kinds of teaching till I was about 20 years into it. And one day my husband said, "Well, you don't really need to teach anymore because the house is paid off and the kids are through 4 years of college." So that year was my last year. Then I did a little bit of tutoring. Even at home, sometime I'm teaching somebody who comes to do something. One of my employees gave me a bill with a incorrect something, I can't remember what, and I took a red pen and corrected it. He took it okay. I do a lot with the Help Center and the Shelter Coalition. I really do help whenever I'm asked. I also do the shopping for Access, their grocery shopping. And I belong to several organizations that do community things. I belong to Master Gardeners and Garden Club and League of Women Voters. And we usually have projects that are helping the community. The thing I like to do is always make use of whatever there is and never let it be thrown away or discarded, because I like to recycle. I like to help people, and it all goes hand in hand. I like to stay busy. If there's this item that nobody wants, I take it and find a home for it, and then I meet another person who needs something different. I do a lot of moving things around. They're usually in the wrong place. You know, you have to take something somewhere and then you pick up something from there. And I like helping Lois because she has creative projects that I can get involved in. I love being behind the scenes, and I don't really need to pull it all together. I just like to do things that were left undone, or there was an opening where I could insert something or make the base stronger. Oh, and I like working with other people, but I don't have to have other people to do things that I want to do. I like to encourage a person who wants to do something and maybe lead them on the way so that they can get into it. Maybe they don't know how to start, and maybe I can find a place where they fit and where they're happy and where they can contribute what they wanted to contribute. I like finding other volunteers to do what I'm doing, and some of the time I find a person who is happy to do something for me so that I can do more with what I was doing. And they're happy just being a support to what I'm doing. I grew up on Highway 66, about 1 hour from St. Louis. My father had a grocery store, and that was right there. And my mother designed a house, and we hooked it to the grocery store. It was a Quonset hut, and she just designed another end on the store, and that's where I lived from 4th grade all the way through high school. I had a lot of time on my hands in the summer because Mom and Dad ran the store and we didn't run around a lot. But we always had a nice atmosphere around. I could go outside and play, and there were a couple of neighbors nearby. But mostly I was on my own with my brother. We played board games, and sometimes we didn't agree, and then we'd get back to it later. We never lived high, but we never were wanting. I started working when I was 16 because a restaurant near my dad's store hired me as a waitress. And my dad was really sure I wasn't old enough yet to be employed, but I convinced him. Then he was pretty sure I wasn't really ready to go to college, but I convinced him, and Mom helped. My husband and I started dating when I had 1 year under my belt in college, but he didn't. He was just graduated from high school. He joined me at Washington University for half a year. Then we got married and moved to the University of Missouri together and lived in married student housing. Amazing. And that by now is demolished. That student housing, married student housing, is no longer there. He was an MD, and he was serving out years in the military because they had paid for some of his training. So we were in London, and we saw the Royal College of Surgeons building, and Tom looked in the front door and saw the urology professor from the University of Missouri standing in that doorway. So that let us enter the Royal College of Surgeons because you can't just walk in. And he started talking to him, and he said Mexico, Missouri needed a urologist. So we came. You remember I said I had taught a half a year here, so we knew the community already. And we moved here then in 1977 because they needed us. I taught for a while before we had children, and they were very close together because I was getting older. We had one in 1967, 1968, 1970, and 1971. I have 11 grandchildren. None of my grandchildren are married yet, so I have no great-grandchildren. But I am old enough to be a great-grandmother. After they were older, we did some foster care. And as I added up without actually adding every individual, it was about 35 or 38 children that we fostered at various times. I'm never done. As long as I can get out the door. I mean, even if I can't drive, I'll probably beg my husband to drive me to places. There's always things in my head that I want to do.